Good morning, guys. I created something because I have an idea. I just took some fabric and then a piece of lace, and I took my little tiny letter stamps and I wrote junk journals for beginners. I wanted to write junk journaling for beginners, but I didn't have another N. As you can tell here, there's a capital and a lowercase. Anyway, back to the basics. So why did I make this? Well, for me, so that I can just set it. Let me show you. So that I can set it right here, and I can be looking at it and be thinking, you know, here and there while I'm playing at my craft space, the things that might be good for beginners or would take us back to the simplicity, the basics, the enjoyment of junk journaling, and maybe even back to using true junk. You know what I mean? Cheap supplies, free supplies. So with that, you probably now know that this is a new playlist I'd like to create. And I'm thinking we could officially start this next month in April. What do you guys think? And then, do you have any ideas that you really want to know what something means, why it's made, how it's made, what it's used for? Let me know that in the comments as well. And keep something in mind. We're at the beginning of the video. You do not need to wait till the end of the video to comment. You can comment 300 times if you want to. Don't be afraid to do that. That way you don't have to be thinking about what you need to remember to say at the end of the video. Do you see what I'm saying? Oftentimes when I go to somebody's video and I watch something, I comment, you know, at the beginning of the video, for instance, last night, I'm in the bathtub, hot bath. I'm just relaxing, and I pulled up YouTube and I went to a friend. Well, I would call him friend, even though I've never met him in person because he's on the other side of the pond as we are, well, as me. He's not in the United States. So he's in the UK. His name is Dave. His channel is Dash of Dave. So I went over there because I haven't watched one of his videos in a while, and I just pulled it up. And he began a craft room tour. And he's showing us his confined space because he has a lot of stuff. And he said something, he said something right at the beginning about there's not even enough room to twirl a cat in the space. And I about died. So I commented right then and there, oh my gosh, Dave, you're killing me. Twirling a cat, like, oh my gosh. And then, you know, you comment 10 minutes in more. What I'm trying to say is, don't try and remember, because I don't know about you. If I don't write it down, I won't remember. So with that being said, let's jump in to something simple, fairly easy, and something I just had a question about. I had a viewer, I'm so sorry, I don't remember your name, but they asked about Masterboards. What is it and what is it for? And I thought, okay, hear me out. If you are not new to junk journaling, you're going to know exactly what a masterboard is and know exactly what to do with it. And you're going to think, and it takes quite a while to do it. No. Let's see if we can do this simple, quick, okay? Hear me out. Before that, though, we have our Bible verse, and today's that I pulled is Proverbs 13, verse 10. Too much pride causes trouble. Be sensible and take advice. Now, I don't know if, I just am getting some lotion. I don't know if you know or not, but on Wednesdays, we have something called hashtag oh my gosh, tongue twister. Hashtag Wisdom Wednesday. And right now, we are going through the book of Proverbs. We have a study guide to go with that. If you want to join us, Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so Google the conversion if you're not in Oregon, or maybe even, I think Arizona's on my time now. Anyway, that's our Bible verse of the day. So let's see what we can do. I have some glue stick. Doesn't matter what kind. As a matter of fact, run to the Dollar Tree if you need to. I have just a blank piece of paper that came from a book page. I have a basket. Yes, There's not a lot of supplies in it, but this was my idea basket. I had it up in my closet. So let's grab some stuff out of it. These are some scraps. I have some pretty scraps. I have some book page scraps from a gardening book, and I have some coffee dyed scraps. Now, what are we going to do? We're just going to take this small book page, okay? And we're going to make a mini master board. So what you do, at least for me, keep in mind, you don't have to have a specific color. You can if you want. What I do is I keep my scraps in a little container, and then I'll make a master board with my scraps. And what I do is I just grab pieces and I get some, stick glue. It's cold in here, guys, and this is not coming out well. I just start gluing down pieces without thinking about it too much all over my surface. Now, what I do usually get is... well, hold on, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I get this gutted book, and I use it as what I call a glue book, so I don't get everything around me sticky. And I just put the glue on like this, and there is a dead stick. I have another one because I knew it was going to happen. And I am not, I'm paying attention to make sure that all the edges get glue on them thoroughly, but I'm not really paying attention to, you know, oh, did I get glue everywhere? You know, because I want it to be quick. Now, this is a great way to use up those brittle old book pages. You know, like the one I'm putting glue on now is from an 1846 Sears catalog. And I do not mean a reproduction. I'm talking genuine, which is why the page is brittle and caramelized. So I do have to be careful because they rip and tear very easily. And I'm just sticking things down. Now, see, because you have so many options with this, it makes it fun. You could go around the edges of each piece that you glue down with your Distress Oxide here. It'll give it a completely different look. You could go with pure, same color book pages as the base and build from there. You could grab all your neon colored scraps and use just those. You could do a neutral base meaning what we're gluing down first, and come back and add pieces on top that are colorful. You can do all straight edges that you've cut with scissors. You can do ripped edges. You can do a mixture of both. It is totally up to you, and it also depends on what scraps you have. That is why I say it is sometimes fun to just get a little envelope, you know, one where you just put one stamp on it, and do a Happy Mail swap of simple paper scraps, because none of us has the same stuff. We might have something similar, but we're probably not going to have identical books and identical book pages. And maybe, you know, your book pages are not plain anymore because you use them to wipe up, say, coffee spills, or you use them to wipe up your ink or paint messes, just to give them a little flair, if you will. That also is going to change it. I know that I purchased a scrap envelope from Louisa Heinzel, and she does a lot of, oh, this is ripping, which is fine. We're just going to go like that. She does a lot of, what do you call it? Let's rip it again. Grungy, rust-looking, do you know what I'm trying to say? vintagey type stuff. So it's things that I definitely am not going to have. So anyway, if, if I had a couple of requests, I might go ahead and do larger envelopes, where it's cost me like $5 in shipping. And I might go ahead and, let's put glue on this side. I might go ahead and sell a scrap pack. And it wouldn't be just book pages. It's going to be some fun stuff as well. Anyway, my point is just to say, everybody's scraps are different. So your masterboard is going to look different. And there we have what I would call a base for a masterboard. See? You could leave it like this, and then what you have is something for down the road when you need to use a masterboard. Let's say, for instance, you're going to, I'm just making sure everything is really stuck down. Let's say you're going to make some tags to go in a journal. So your journal, say, has a purple theme. So you're going to grab this, and then what you're going to do is you're going to, let me get these scraps out of the way. You're going to come back and add purple elements. Or I've got these little scraps here. I have some blues and some pinks. So what we could do, let's just use them all. We could rip. Now I don't like the light look of that white, so I'm actually going to rip the other way. And we're going to put glue on here. And I'm just going to stick it sideways. See, that's the other thing. You can go wonky. You can go everything one way. You can do, let's say everything's a rectangle shape. Or say everything is a triangle. Again, you see what I'm saying? It is up to you. There is just so much variety that you could do. So for me, I am actually just randomly placing. I'm trying not to think too much about it because I want to do this fairly quick. And I'm going to say we're almost done. And then I want to show you something. And you know what? I might, I'm not editing this video. If I was editing the video, I would go back and show you at the beginning what we're going to be making. Let's rip this in half. I actually could take a picture of this, our finished product, my idea, and put that as the photo in, like, when you're scrolling YouTube to see the videos and you see a photo. What am I trying to say? Help! Does anybody know what I'm trying to say? Anyway, the YouTube thumbnail. I got it. Yes, the thumbnail photo. I could do that. Let's just do one more. Let's do one more. Which one should we do? How about, let's rip right there and call that good. And then I'll show you my idea. Now, there are people that will turn this masterboard, that's what we have here, they will turn it into, what do you call it? A mixed media project. And what I mean is they'll let this glue dry. Then they'll come back in and they'll do some stamping. They'll do maybe some paint splatters. Maybe they'll sew on some scrap fabric. There's so many options. We're going to leave it like this just for sake of time. And then what I want to do, let me show you, is let's say this is a page in a journal. I want to make a top pocket here. Let's turn it over here. Not over here. But then if you notice, see how this sticks out? It's also a page tab. So it's a page tab upper tuck. You could also do it as a lower tuck. So let me show you how to do that real quick. I've got in my basket some coffee dyed paper. Oh, here is another prototype. See, that is the page tab look from one side, and the other side is your tuck, and that's the bottom one. I did it at the bottom here. And then another thing you can do is on the side. So it looks like I need to show you a few things. And, oh, here's another bottom one. Looks like I had done a few. And I wrapped that over as another tuck. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's 3 different ways. But let's start with the upper tuck page tab, okay? So what you need is some pages that you might use in a journal. I'm just going to grab down here at my feet some coffee dyed pages. And let's see, I'll just set them right here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut a strip. It doesn't matter how wide. This one here, if you must know, is 1 3/4 inch wide. And the length happens to be, 5, probably 6, 7. I don't know. Let's see how long my book page was. 9. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to come over here and kind of trim the edge so that it's not scraggly, because some of my pieces came off on the side. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to cut, attempting a straight line. I'm just going to cut straight up like that. Now, if you know you can't cut straight lines, go ahead and grab a paper cutter, shove this in here, and just chomp it. Guesstimate. There we go. So I chomped a few. Put my cutter out of the way. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of that one masterboard that we did. So take your book, your page that's going to be in your journal, right? This page is a little long, so I had to fold it in. But what you're going to do, just grab one. Now you can round the corners if you want. You don't have to. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go, I'm going to round there, and there, and then there, and there. And if you don't have one of these, which by the way, I think Amazon has them, just round it by cutting with your scissors. And then, let's see, when we put it on, we don't want it to go all the way to the end here. Let me zoom in a little. Do you see how I've got room? Because you want to make sure that when you sew this paper into your journal, you can move the pages back and forth. And then we want it to stick out a little bit so that it is a page tab. And so if we hold it about there, we just kind of think, how far out do I want that page tab? And that's about where we're going to fold. There we go. Stick it back on there. Now, I'm looking and, oopsie, somehow when I moved it, I didn't do that right. So I'm just going to come in. I'm not going to fight it and refold it. I'm just going to come in, cut some off, and re-round the corners. I mean, after I do it a couple times, I'm sure I could get the perfection out of it. Maybe not, who knows. So there we have that. Oh, you know why? Oh my gosh, because we were having it stick out some, and I didn't need to cut that off. It doesn't matter, whatever. Make sure it sticks out, right? And then we can glue this whole thing down on the other side as just decoration, or we can use it as another tuck. So let's start on this side, and I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna try and grab, anyway, this glue book page to put under, just in case I have glue that oozes out. And I'm not using stick glue. Any other glue for this, guys. Just not stick glue. And what we're going to do is we're going to think, okay, if that's where we want it, let's open it up. Let's put a little glue right here in this spot that's going to stick off the page. And Did I get it? Yep. And then, since it's an upper tuck, what we're going to do is we're going to put glue just at the very top. And then I'm going to come down and try it down the side as well. Okay. Let's hope I get that on there straight. There we go. And then press down, give that glue a little time to dry. If you're using a glue like Art Glitter Glue, it's going to catch right away. I have run out of Art Glitter Glue, unfortunately. So I'm actually just using regular old PVA glue in here. It's just Elmer School Glue, if you have to know. And I filled it to about here. And then I just dumped a tiny bit of water in and I shook it real good. Just know that water-based PVA glue, like what I just told you about, could wrinkle pages. All right, so that should be about dry. Or not dry, but held on. So then we have this side. We could glue the whole thing down. Or again, we could make another upper tuck. For me, I'm thinking I would like to glue the whole thing down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put glue all over it and press it down. And what we've done is, let's take our Bible verse of the day. We've just made a tuck spot to put something fun in our journal. So that was prototype number 1. Okay, so we have that one done. And then we had prototype number 2, a bottom tuck. And this one does not have a page tab, but we could do it with a page tab, although we don't have to. This one also is a tuck on the other side. So let's do that. So again, this would be our page that we would put in our journal. And I'm not going to round the corners this time. Nah. But what you could do, you could now come in and ink it if you want to. I'll just do this one for fun. But you don't, again, don't have to shoot. You could come around, and since there's a little pink and blue, you could use pink or blue ink around it. And then just think, which way do I want it? I'm thinking this way. And again, don't come too close to the side. And right about there is the edge of the page. So that's about where I'm going to fold it. No perfection needed on this one. And oops, and just crease it there. And then put it on your page. And then, yeah, it'll be fine on the other side. Now I'm getting really close here to the side I want to show you. Do you see? That is not a lot of space, but it is just enough, thankfully. So here's what we're going to do. Where'd my glue book page go? It is right here. I'm going to put that underneath there first. And then on this one, I am going to go ahead and put a tiny strip of glue on the edge, on the bottom, and right down the side. So you're doing 3 sides on this. Fold it over. Kind of try and make sure it's straight. And then press the glue so that it sticks to the page. And then we're going to open it up. And on this side, what I'm going to do is I am only going to give a line of glue right down here at the edge of the page and on the bottom. Let me show you why. Is that enough? That's not enough. My light in here is horrible today. We're going to fold that down and press. So we have nothing here. I forgot. Just down at the bottom. And then what we've got is we have a tuck spot here and a pocket here. It's a shallow pocket. Now we could have cut it wider strips and made a bigger pocket. All right, so that is prototype number 2. Done. Number 3 appears to be a page tab. You open it up and it's a tuck. Oh, and it's a bottom tuck just like we did before. So if we're going to do that, we want to take one of these. And I'm going to round just that bottom edge. And I'm going to say, okay, it's going to go right about there. And then I'm going to fold it here. Okay. There we go. And then put it back on there. Now, I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. So we have a bit of a page tab, not a lot. And on the other side here, on this one, there's nothing. It just looks like a page tab. So if we were going to do that, here's what we do. Chop. So then I'm going to start on this side. And I'm just going to grab my glue. And I'm going to go ahead and put glue on all 3, 4 sides right there, you see. And I'm going to press it down, hold it so it grabs. If you're like me and glue oozes out the side, you will be thankful that you put on lotion first, because when you put lotion on first, it makes it easier to wash your hands and get all the glue and icky off your hands when you're done with your arts and crafts or art project, whatever you want to call it. All right, over here, then, remember, this is a pocket, and so it is glued down. So what we'll do is we will go ahead and put glue on the bottom, if the glue will come out, and this side. And I am noticing, I have glue oozing out. I'm gonna just grab this piece of paper and wipe it. I need a napkin, and I don't have one on. Wait a minute, maybe I do. I do. Oh my gosh, it was right in my drawer beneath me. I noticed that there's a word, it says complaining. So when I go back to this down the road to decorate pages more, I'll probably put some sort of a die cut or a fussy cut right over it. Let's do that now. Somebody sent me this in a Happy Mail. I belong to a group of ladies that once a month we swap Happy Mail, and there's a gal that makes these beautiful flowers, and I'm so blessed she sent me one. A little package, not just one, but a little package of them, I should say. So let's do that word complaining and cover it up. Perfect. And now there is our pocket here, and it's just a page tab there. Okay, and then on this same one, I had done a side tuck. So let's just take this one, because, no, let's not do that. Let's take a new one. All right. This is folded. We'll do this side. And our very last one here, I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I want you to see this is longer than my page. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cut a little off here and a little off there and see if that worked. No, it is still too long. Let's just cut more off. And that is now a hair too small, but that's all right. I'm fine with that. And what I'll do is I think I will go ahead and round corners. I'd like to ink it, but I don't want to take the time because you guys don't need to see me ink something again. Now, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to put glue on the bottom and then all the way up. Oh my gosh, this one side. Here we go. And, oh, I did the top. And then, because if I did it that way, oh my gosh. Let's see. Oh, let's grab a different page, maybe. If I put this one in a journal that way, we could... Wipe the glue off the top, Dawn. Okay, so learn from my mistake. Make sure you're putting the glue on the part on the bottom and then the side that goes here. And then we'll just press that down, putting it right up against the edge and squish it so it stays. And now what do we have? Well, putting the lid on my glue, here's what we have. Let's take one of our glue pages here. Let's pretend that it is a cool tag we've made, right? Ooh, look at our beautiful tag. And watch what we can do. We can tuck it right in there. So there are a few ways to use a masterboard once you have made it. And that's how to make a masterboard. And just remember, you can do whatever pleases your eye. If you had made that masterboard and you thought it was boring, you know, you totally can do things like come in with a stamp, any size, any kind, and just do some random stamping. Or maybe you've got, let's say you've got a stencil and you want to do a little stenciling. Okay, well, I would take a paddle brush. I'm going to grab my dark brown walnut stain and I'm going to go sideways, I think, and rub this brown on there, right? So that is another way. You're using mixed media to make a masterboard. Basically, you're just using different supplies. Or let's say you've got a different stencil and you have some, oh gosh, let's say you've got some super heavy gesso. You found it at a garage sale and you don't know what to do with it. Grab that. Put your stencil over top. Grab some sort of a tool, your finger even. Get some of this stuff. That's going to be too much. And just maybe do a little bit of gesso on there. Pull your stencil off. Let it dry. See what you've got then. Maybe that's still not enough for you. So maybe you're going to come in and you're going to grab some sort of a distress oxide spray. What was this? That is just a random piece of paper. Let's use that under my surface here. And you're going to just give it a little squirt. And then you're going to let it dry. Maybe you're like, oh, that's too dark. So then you're going to go like this. Let's see. Gentle tap, 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 tap. Oh, look at me. I've made a mess. Yay. You see what I mean? You can do whatever you want with your masterboard. This is going to be a wonky scrap now. I'm going to let it dry. And I'm going to put it in my scrap bin and use it for something. I don't know what But yeah, so a little junk journaling for beginners or back to the basics. So that's our first little project. And I hope that helps. If you have any questions about Masterboards, that's just one thing you can do with it. So I will see you very soon. We'll start in April, the junk journaling for beginners, in and amongst other things. Maybe I'll do it like once or twice a week, and we'll, because we're going to have other things. I've got a brand new How Do You Do Art challenge. She has decided to challenge us for the month of April. We've got things going on. So with that said, I'll see you soon, guys, and thank you for being here. Bye.